justify ever increasing cost and the weight of grand disposal.
We welcome the decision of Mr. President to announce that subsidy on PMS is over, and this has really been a major challenge for NNPC's continued operation. We have been funding the subsidy from the cash flow of the NNPC since government is unable to defray the cost of subsidy that is due to the corporation. And we believe that this will free resources for the NNPC to continue to do the great works that this company will do for our country, and it allows us to continue to function as a very commercial entity. And we welcome this development. Secondly, we would like to assure Nigerians that we have sufficient supply of petroleum product, particularly petroleum motor spirit, in our country, and there is no reason to panic. We understand people will be scared of potential changes to price of petrol, but that is not enough for people to rush to fuel stations to buy more than what they need. But we are also assured that, we are watching all the distribution networks and support facility, and we believe that normalcy will be restored very soon.
The place to start, therefore, is to remove the inefficient fuel subsidies. Nigerian fuel subsidies benefit the rich, not the poor. Fueling theirs and government's endless fleet of cars at the expense of the poor. Estimates show that the poorest 40% of the population consume just 3% of petrol. Fuel subsidies are killing the Nigerian economy, costing the economy of Nigeria $10 billion alone in 2022. Now that means that Nigeria is borrowing what it doesn't have to borrow for. If it simply eliminates these inefficient subsidies and uses the resources well for national development. Rather, support should be provided to private sector refineries and modular refineries to allow for efficiency and competitiveness to drive down fuel pump prices. The newly commissioned Dangote refinery, by Your Excellency, Mr. President, the largest single-train petroleum refinery in the world, as well as the petrochemical complex, will revolutionize Nigeria's economy. And congratulations to you, Mr. President. I'd also like to give congratulations to my dear brother, Aliko Dangote, for his amazing $19 billion investment. You've got Nigerians, Mr. President, who believe in Nigeria. He's one of them. I am one of them. And we are many of us. We believe in Nigeria.
Guys, at this juncture, we really do need to invoke the powers of the highest. God needs to help our country at this point. This is beyond human capacity and human capabilities. The inaugural speech of our latest president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, trying to tell us that subsidy will be removed, has been taken out of context. And the greedy people in this country are beginning to profit from this unfortunate situation. We already know that subsidy cannot be removed by a word of mouth. Nobody can declare subsidy out of existence. And there are a lot of things that ought to be put in place. The former administration was already getting an $800 million loan from World Bank just to act as a shock absorber to, try to pad the economy when subsidy will be removed. They even had to suspend the ongoing actions of the NEC to remove subsidy for the new administration. So it's not easy. So the declaration by our new president that subsidy is gone is not news to anybody. That the budget for this year only has allocation up until June 2023, and we're in May. This is May 30th. By tomorrow 31st, then in fact this week we're in June already, and so we have to use the month of June to put the things in place to phase fuel subsidy out of the Nigerian economy. If you listen closely to what the president of the African Development Bank said, he said that, and it's no news, we spent $10 billion just in 2022 to subsidize PMS. Now that's wild. In my estimation, I don't think we borrowed up to 10 billion USD in 2022 alone. Now that's too much money going down the drain. So it's not even news or an issue of debate if this thing should be phased out. But there's a process, and the implementation and the way which the government carries it out is of utmost importance. So this is why I'm asking us to pray, because there are some things that surpasses human thinking and human capacity and human capabilities. Experts may have their different opinion on how to go about, will I say, carrying out this phasing out of PMS subsidy. But then the Nigerian economy is so complex and diverse. The way our market responds to issues and the kinds of shock we have, it's is wild. We just came, out of a cash crunch, which POS operators exploited. Now we're going into this exploitation by, petrol marketers and, filling station owners. It's heartbreaking, it's depressing, it's disheartening. It's just it's not easy. So there's a lot of benefit that if we can save $10 billion on an annual basis. Jeez, that's mad. That's crazy money. $10 billion. Our total debt as a country in dollars is about $106 billion. If we can avoid to spend $10 billion in 10 years, that's $100 billion. So we are really praying for God's help for our refineries to be up and running. The Port Harcourt refinery is supposed to be up and running this year. Dangote refinery is supposed to issue out its first batch of petroleum products by the end of June. This year. Our modular refineries are already up and running, but most of them are not profitable because of fuel subsidy. So these guys would buy crude, refine it, and they are compelled to sell petrol at the normal rate, or else it's going to rot because nobody will buy their petrol at an unsubsidized amount, whereas they are not buying the crude oil at a subsidized rate. So it's not profitable for them in the long run. And PMS is the way they market and where the money is. So they're not running profitably right now. So they need, this issue of subsidy to be removed so they can run their operations profitably. We need a robust fiscal framework for proper deregulation of the downstream sector to avoid all the issues of corruption. We need fuel subsidy phased out so we can know the real amount of petrol that we consume. The government is insisting that we consume 60 million liters of petrol, while the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association are saying no, it's not. It's about 40 to 45. So there's a lot of rumors that it's not rumor, it's true. A lot of our refined petroleum product actually leaves our porous borders and gets to some of our West African neighbors. So we also have to take into consideration the amount of petrol. Some people said about 15 million liters of petrol leaves this country every day to neighboring countries. And so if we calculate that with the 40 to 45 million that we actually consume as a nation, according to IPMAN, then you can see why the government is putting figures at 60 million. So there's a whole lot we will stand to benefit, and we'll be able to see the benefit of deregulating the sector, of removing fuel subsidy from next year. Even a blind man will see it. So this remaining half of 2023 is going to be tough and difficult, and everyone should brace up. We should brace up because subsidy removal has come to stay, and there is no two ways about it. So we should all brace up, and I don't even know what to say. It's going to be really tough. So make your plans. I'm thinking that within the week or within next week, the price of petrol is going to come down again. So once it comes down, everybody will be panic buying till the end of June, because by the end of June, it would be officially removed, and the price will be pegged at the dollar rate, official dollar rate, which should be about, let's just say, 500 naira. So we are asking and praying God's blessings, and praying for God's help and God's intervention in our country, praying for God's wisdom for our president and for his team, for the vice president, for the economic team, who are, who are striving too hard to put in policies in place to help the sector and help the country not break down, in the wake of this subsidy removal. So I just want to intimate you guys that subsidy has not yet been removed. Okay, don't be fooled by the narrative right now on air. We're trying to see what we can do and to mitigate the issues happening right now. But in the meantime, stay calm, stay coordinated, stay safe, buy as much fuel as you can buy by next week when the price begins to come down. Stock up as much as you can stock up. The NNPC is promising that they would buy enough petrol in order to have too much supply so that marketers cannot overhoard to hike the price. No matter how much you want to create an artificial scarcity, when the supply is so much, it will be hard for them to create it. So when NPC is saying that they're going to make supply so much to make sure that artificial scarcity would be hard to implement by the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association (IPMAN). So it's really an emotional video, and we're trusting that God will help the country. Okay, I'm your host, Tinubu. This is Isaac News. We see you again. Godspeed.